position by allowing somebody sitting in a position not very sure whether he will be there tomorrow. And that even affects performance, because somebody who is not guarantee of his position may not perform very well. But when somebody is given a position and knows very well is going to serve up to this time, he will be able to perform and can inspire others also to perform. And especially those who are sitting in senior positions, Madam Speaker. So we just want to see that public service and including the appointing authorities, especially, I remember in the last government, many CEOs of parastatals, almost 80% of them were in acting capacities. So you wonder why, if they put him in an acting capacity, why wouldn't they not find a way of either replacing him or confirming him so that he can continue? So, Madam Speaker, I just want to add my voice, but I also want to say that people with disability must also be given, when we are doing this amendment, Madam Speaker, we shall amend at a later stage to include persons with disability in this amendment, Madam Speaker. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak on this.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Jackson Kosgei, nominated member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think my colleague team has handled. I wish to have a voice here that in this bill, as we do amendment, Madam Speaker, it must come out very clear in treating what one would consider as a bureaucratic marginalization, a silent policy that removes certain people and denies them certain enjoyment in public service. So one such is a silence on, is it 80, section 80 of this amendment? It is not mentioning and coming out clearly to include persons with disability as one of the targeted in terms of making it clear on the retirement. It has been done well in the Public Finance Management Act. This must also be reflected in the public service, that persons with disability retire at the age of 65. We have a case, Madam Speaker, somebody, Francis Mutembei, from Central Bank, who was retired 2022 at the age of 60, and the bank would not consider even the public service circular that came out in 2012, and also the subsequent amendment on the Public Finance Management Act, because in some laws it is not recognizing. And I think this is the right time, Madam Speaker, this is considered and be reflected in law. So I think, as team mentioned, Honorable, that later on in this detailed amendment, I plead with the mover to accept that this be made an outstanding, identifiable area of treatment by this particular law. Second, Madam Speaker, is that, as my colleagues have said, this is to deal with the issue of acting that has been witnessed in public offices. I think it is important to be clear on this because some officers have acted in offices perpetually without any consideration. And when the new recruitment is done, some of them are thrown out, yet they have carried out a good work in the service simply because of other consideration. And finally, it is why I support is because our population generally, as a country, is a young nation. We have the population at over 50%, and I think the best way to do it is to find a way of absorbing them, this being one of the ways and not the only way, but we must balance between experience, what the nation needs, and not punish and use age as a punitive alternative for us to get a room for someone else. We don't have to deny one to give another, but we need to balance between the two considerations. With that, Madam Speaker, I support the bill.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Rahim Dawood, member for North Imenti.
Thank you, Madam